a lot of people, and they understand how to chat with ChatGPT. They don't understand how to use ChatGPT, how to replicate one of the things that you need for your business in a meaningful way.
Welcome back to another installment of the Next Gen Case Study Series. On today's episode, we have Marat Asadurian, who is the co-founder and CEO of SafeDigit.io, a Vancouver-based technology company revolutionizing last-minute delivery through seamless e-commerce integrations. With a background in data engineering from industry leaders like Amazon and Trulioo, Marat is developing an AI-assisted workflow automation platform helping a range of industries, including logistics and manufacturing, seamlessly connect their clients to their systems, which is why we're excited to have him on the show. Marat, welcome to the program.
Good to see you.
So I'm really excited to get into some of the stuff that you're working on here. But before we get too far into it, I'd love to just start with a couple of minutes on your background. You know, who you are, where you came from, and how you landed in the current role that you're in.
Yeah, my name is Marat. I was born in Soviet Union, raised in Israel. I worked in many companies, big and small. I worked for Intel, Telefonica, Amazon. I worked for a couple of startups. And what I noticed working in all these companies that data is always an issue, but even more, it's integrations. It's always in the way, together with compliance. It's something that you need to do, you have to do, but you're not very excited to do. But naturally, I lean into solving hard problems and making it my own expertise. That's how I came to develop SafeDigit. It's a data integration platform that evolved into full-blown workflow automation or business process automation that you can connect all the systems that you are relying on. For example, your email to ChatGPT, to your invoices, or maybe if we're talking about logistics, your client's e-commerce platform to their ERP, to your delivery system, whatever you need into meaningful business processes.
So I got it here that we that you founded SafeDigit back in 2020. Is that accurate?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, so we've been in the game for 5 years now, and I get that you were kind of part of the founding team. I wonder if maybe you could give me a little bit of insight into how your role has evolved over the last 5 years from that initial days of startup to, you know, what you're working on right now.
Right. So when I started, it was more of a tinkering just to understand the problem and talk to leaders in various industries about their needs and what they are looking for. So in the beginning, coming from Trulioo, a very heavily data-oriented company, the biggest problem was, of course, compliance and not necessarily that data acquisition companies are able to stand for compliance of the data companies like Trulioo, and I wanted to help them. Or worked a little bit on that problem, and then we evolved into logistics. Uh, and we noticed that for logistics companies, their customers come in all size and shapes. Some of them using Shopify, some of them using WooCommerce, some of them using their own e-commerce platform that they develop. But to connect to them, they need to redevelop their integration times and again. So that was natural, something that we developed into.
Mhm.
And while working on it, we realized that we are no longer just an integration platform. That's full business workflow that we're developing here with no code and AI assistance. So that's how our new branding comes into place, where we're a full-blown workflow automation platform. My role evolved from a software engineer, basically developing the software, to more of a manager first, and then now as a CEO, I'm more concerned about the distribution of the product. I talk to customers, I learn what they need, and and I direct the company into the right direction to serve more customers.
So give me a little bit of insight on how some of that early work that you did with Truly You or Amazon helped kind of shape your approach to growing Safe Digit.
Right. So if we will start with truly, because I'm not really comfortable talking about Amazon, but in Truly You is an identity verification platform to verify that somebody who is signing up for your credit card, verify that it's a real person. You need to send the information that they are sending and various data points to many data providers. It could be credit check, it could be bank account, it could be a lot of things. And then you need to collect this information and then run through some magic engine that will decide if it's a real person coming in. But data is the name of the game. You need as many data connections as possible to understand. And working there, what I noticed is that there are two roles in the company. One role is the product manager or a product owner. They have maximum business knowledge and minimal technical knowledge. So they create the description of how the integration with the business should look like. And then there is a technical role, a developer, software developer, or a project manager that is working with a team. And they have maximum technical knowledge, but not a lot of business knowledge. And the bridge between these two is the processes, the business operation processes. And my idea was always, if the business owner already defined the task, why do we need to translate it to code every single time? Wouldn't it be awesome if they will be able to just go to some tool, write a document, or just arrange it like on a Miro board, and it will immediately work? So that's something that can be done with SafeDigit. If you look into our dashboard, the canvas look a lot like Miro board. And what you do on this Miro board is exactly what you would do when you're defining a problem to the technical team, with the big change that that's the end of the work. You don't need to put it into Scrum, and technical team don't need to code anymore.
I see. So you're reminding me of this concept of like a visionary and an integrator, where you take somebody who's kind of who understands like this is what we need. I have no
Mhm.
idea how to bring it to life, but this is what I need. And then
Yeah,
you have the other group is like, I don't know what to make because I don't know what people need, but then they bring it to life. And so you've basically simplified this process. Is that about right?
that's absolutely right. Yes.
So, okay. Who needs something like this? Like, just from my perspective, like I can already think of a couple of examples of where this might be a good fit, but who are you aiming at?
I'm aiming at teams that have the IT team,
Hmm.
but their IT team are busy with developing the business logic for their companies. So when they develop the business processes, that's something that is not exactly the core business. In startup world, we always say you need to focus on your core competence. For example, if you're working on, let's say, QuickBooks, you want to work on the ease of use, on the features that cater to your customers. You don't want to work on integrations. That's something on a side. On the other hand, if you are not getting the invoices from somewhere, if you are not getting the information, it's just not a useful software, right? So our software can replace the whole integration team, because the product owner that is designing these integrations, they will design the integrations and they will just work.
Right. So this is how similar to this is something like make.com or Zapier or something like that. Like is it a very similar process to that, or is it removed slightly?
It is very similar process.
Okay.
It is, and I like to talk about make.com because I like what they've built. They have wonderful product. The difference between us and them is that we empower the technical teams to build the tools for the business teams. If we will talk about one of the workflows that we do often is an integration from Shopify delivery to delivery company. So what needs to be done is when the order is created, we need to get from and to address. and then send a request to the delivery company, get a response, and then update the fulfillment status. I'm pretty sure that you understand what I just said, right?
Right.
But if I would say we need to create an HTTP connector, we need to authenticate it with HMAC authentication, then we need to do data transformation, right? So
Yeah.
you already see where it's going.
I'm
That's
already
not
lost.
something that you would, yeah, you wouldn't touch it, right? So make.com allows you to do all this second part that I was telling. What we allow you to do is to tell your technical team, these are the blocks that I need. Implement them, and I will reuse them later. And then you as a business person, you will use with blocks that are relevant to your particular business, not to HTTP, not to HMOC authentication, your business.
I can see now how useful it is to take some of these really complex ideas and make them very simple uh for that communication, I think part of it where you got these two teams who have a clear disconnect because of the jargon, right? This is just
Mhm.
that's just the nature of the industry. And then you put them together with a very simple buffer, and now all of a sudden the potential for what can be created becomes unlimited.
Exactly. Yes.
Love
Another
that.
aspect to that is we're probably going to live in a world where AI is going to write the code. It's happening right now. You can see v0.dev or Quest AI. There's a lot of them. And the question is, when AI is going to create it, who's going to understand it?
Uh,
How are you going to change it? So if you're a business owner and you draw your business idea, your business workflow in the language that you understand, and then AI will implement it. But now you can see what is going on and you can understand how the data is flowing in your system and how your system works. So there's some kind of, I call it taming of AI.
uh, yeah, you kind of rein it in and give it a direction to take. And I think that's super powerful. So when it comes to, the kind of go-to-market strategy here, what were some of the things that you tried in the early days in for your like top of funnel level marketing stuff? And where did you kind of find the traction? When did it start working for you?
Right. So we started working with logistics companies because it's very easy to explain them what they're getting.
Hmm.
They're getting a integration or data application, sorry, not data application, full application in a e-commerce platform. So the benefit is very simple. They're getting more customers and their existing customers getting better service. Easy to explain, easy to sell. And the flow that we want to happen, we create the first application for them from templates that we've built, and then they take it over. So, for example, I was on a call today with a customer, and they want to add some more features. Uh, I immediately showed him the workflows, and I said, "Do you want this and that?" And he said, "Yes." So I said, "You can do it yourself, or we can do it for you for professional services fee, but it will be much more fun if you will do it." So he said that's interesting. I will take a stab at it. And eventually, I want them to take the platform. And basically, our foot in the door is getting them more orders, more customers, and then they start using it for their software.
So this is almost you got to get the product in their hand, let them give it a shot, and then
Yes,
once they see how powerful it becomes, it's a no-brainer to say yes to
exactly.
integrating it. Yeah, that's really cool. So, what sorts of stuff did you try that didn't work? Where did you see your efforts kind of fall short?
Yeah. So the first idea was to cater to data brokers and help them reach more customers that require compliance.
Mm,
That's why the name is SafeDigit. We're natively a security and encryption company, and it didn't work because you need a lot of internal connections. And
mm,
when you're a new company and you're coming to this data brokers and you're saying onboard all your data to SafeDigit, that's raising a lot of like concerns.
right.
It's a new company. Yeah, you're saying you're secure and all that stuff, but if I would explain them why the data is safe, they just don't have the the tools to understand
Right.
and natively, and of course they don't trust. So we say, okay, data integration didn't work. Let's try other integrations, and then we leaned into logistics.
So I love how iterative it was, and it wasn't, a baby out with the bathwater scenario where you're like, okay, I built this thing for this group of people, and now it turns out that group of people can't necessarily benefit as much as we hoped, but there's this whole other area that we can go to. It resembles a level of resiliency that I think is really, really important in building the business and getting the traction that you need. So as you continue to go through all of this, what are some of the big goals that you're aiming at? What are maybe some key revenue milestones that you're hoping to hit, and what are some of the strategies that you're looking to deploy to get there?
Right. Our main goal is not related to revenue. Our main
Okay.
goal is to have champion customers that love the product, use it every day, and would drive their revenue, and they're happy with that. That's our main. Every startup starts with build software that people want, and I like to paraphrase it: build software that people need, because sometimes you can sell them something that they want, but that would be snake oil, and that's not the business I want to be in.
Hmm.
So I want to be in the business when I create something that is needed, generates more revenue, creates a better user experience, or whatever value that we create. That's where we focus. Um, where we have good traction with that. We have some customers that are really using it and they driving their revenue, and even their strategy is relying on our product. So that's something that's my mark of success. So when I'm thinking about funnel, my funnel, bottom of the funnel is not when the customer starts to pay.
Hmm.
My bottom of the funnel is when the customer is happy and will be very upset if our company disappears. That's my North Star.
That's a very interesting perspective. That was going to be my follow-up to the if revenue isn't the guiding post for what you're aiming at, then what is and how are you measuring that success? And so to hear that bottom of funnel is have a customer having a remarkable enough experience to share that with others, I think is such a powerful way to set yourself up for success.
Thank you. Yeah. Think about it. If you if your iPhone disappears today, you would be very upset, right? And or Amazon.com. That
Yeah.
that would be a big deal. So we want to be on that level, at least for some of our customers.
Right, if not all of them. It sounds like you're on track to doing that. So in terms of kind of managing the team and making sure that everybody has what they need along the way, what do you use? What kind of tools and technologies are you using to kind of help support the sales team?
We have HubSpot. We're regular tech stack of a beginning startup. So HubSpot, Apollo. We are started using some new software to send the emails and make sure that it's not going into spam. But one of the most important things that we do to ensure that the emails are not going into spam is I personally do the research about the company that we are approaching. And I want to make sure that what we are suggesting them is actually something that they need. So if we're talking again about logistics, I'm looking what do they have today. So for example, if they already have a WooCommerce application, I'm not going to suggest it on the email. I'm going to say you already have WooCommerce app, and I hope you're feeling success with that. We can take you to other platforms and increase your revenue. So make it personalized in a business way.
Yeah, that's tough. That one, because it requires a little bit more effort on the front end to make sure that you do the proper research and you're looking into the right things. Do you think that's going to pose a challenge to the scalability at some point in the business?
Absolutely, yes. Uh, and when it's going to pose a challenge, that's where we need to start working more on the inbound. and making sure that we create content and people know that this tool exists and it's useful in this and that way. Basically, bringing it out.
Yeah, the content part of this, and this is it's funny because that's a common theme that kind of comes up in a lot of the conversations I have on the show with guests is um my business started out to do this one thing, and it turns out that I actually have to also be a media company because we have to be creating content on such a, frequent basis to be able to get in front of the fact that the industry of technology is constantly evolving. So there's always new things coming about, and your product and your service also is going to evolve with who you serve. And as you explore new verticals or new options, there's this need now to stay ahead of it with the content. So that's you're not alone in that battle. There's a lot of people out there that are kind of facing that challenge.
I learned from really good mentors. One of them was saying content is king,
Yes,
and truly. And I understand what she means now
right.
when I'm running my own company. Yeah, content is king.
Yeah, that's a tough one, and one that a lot of people are kind of working through, and so you're in good company, that's for sure. So Marat, this has been really really good. I'm very grateful for your time and wisdom here. I guess to kind of wrap things up here, um, looking forward at the future, what sorts of kind of trends and things like that are you excited about that you think are going to help grow the business a little bit?
AI is definitely getting more powerful, and people need more of it. I talk to a lot of people, and they understand how to chat with ChatGPT. They don't understand how to use ChatGPT.
Ah,
How to replicate one of the things that you need for your business in a meaningful way. For example, there are certain emails that that can be drafted. So something happened in your system, you get an input, and now you need to um, update your customer. Giving you an example, we have a validation of address, and then if the address is failing, we are sending an email to our customer and saying, "Hey, the validation for this address failed. Is it our problem or your problem?"
oh,
It's okay. So, or a customer problem. So,
right.
and right now we're doing it manually, but instead we can just have call to ChatGPT, throw in the data, it creates a draft in the email, put it in your Gmail, and then in the morning you can just see all the drafts and then send, or update.
Right, yeah, and you can update it in real time before the message goes out. That's super powerful. And I
Yeah,
love the distinction that you made between the people know how to chat with GPT, but they don't necessarily know how to use it as a tool. And that was something that I thought was I thought it was going to be a lot more complicated than it was. But once you kind of get into the back end of designing or developing a GPT that does like more predictable things,
really.
uh, there's this power that you unlock in your ability to uh really bridge the gap in that mundane, repetitive, why am I doing this over and over again kind of tasks that really create some power there. So that's cool. Marat, in closing, I wonder if I could get you to share a little bit of advice for anybody who's out there who's kind of trying to create something or build something, and maybe they're struggling with some challenges right now. What sort of advice would you offer that kind of person?
Uh, Create value. That's that's something that is very important. There is a lot of cool things that you can build today in the and it's very easy. I mean, the bar is very low today. You can go to v0.dev and create your UI, and then you can go to, let's say, even SafeDigit and create a backend for it, and then you have a prototype. The most important thing is make sure that people want it and need it, and then keep going into it, keep being useful.
Keep being useful. We got to put that on a shirt, Murat. It's so simple, but it's often overlooked. Um, if somebody wanted to reach out to you to pick your brain, or perhaps work with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
My email is marat@safedigit.io. or feel free to connect on LinkedIn.
Beautiful. We'll make sure to link to all that stuff in the show notes so that anybody that's watching or listening can find you easily. And on that note, if you want to get in touch with me and my team for any of your marketing or AI needs, you can visit nextgengrowth.com. Otherwise, that's it for this episode. Thanks for joining us for this conversation, and I will see you in the next.